All right, what's up? Welcome back to the Rich at Heart podcast. I'm Rudy.
And I'm Sharday.
And we greatly and lovingly welcome you back to another episode. We have not filmed in probably 3 weeks now.
They consistent.
So we got some catching up to do. With us and with you. So thanks for tuning in.
Life be lifing, man.
Life be lifing. That's the title of this episode now is Life Be Lifing. There you go. So yeah, what's been going on in life? How's life been lifing for you?
Just travel a lot for work. Work's a little stressful, but again, I always say I'm grateful to have a job. But really, I haven't been doing shit. Like I literally don't do much. Like we were talking before the episode about, just going different places within the city or that I refuse to try to go to anymore. I'm just like I'm trying to turn over a new leaf in life. But I'm not saying I will never show up in those places again. I might. Anyway, nothing really is going on. Like, I think that I'm enjoying that. Like, there's not like a whole lot of changes. I'm going to be doing some remodeling on my house. So some demolition might be happening. Well, not might be. It's going to be happening. So it's like my first time as a homeowner, like doing renovations, like big ones that like I'm not doing myself. So that's going to be interesting, like getting contractors and figuring out like how that all works. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Just to get some stuff done, like some visions that I've had for a little while to come to fruition. Cause like eventually, like I wanted to have properties. Like that's kind of like where I'm like trying to figure out like how to do it, what the processes are. It's like owning real estate, right? And I don't know if it's like Airbnbs, like getting a duplex, but I definitely want to get into that space. Yeah. Being a landlord like seems like a lot, but there are ways around that too, like where you don't necessarily have to like directly deal with the people. But so yeah, it's kind of like where I'm at and maybe like what next steps are, but I'm just excited to get some stuff.
That's exciting. That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm always inspired by your motivations, really, because you have like really good self-driven motivations. You kind of always have. I mean, I've known you since middle school now, for those of you that don't know. We've known each other since we were wee little kids. But yeah, you have a really cool like self-driven like energy. I like that about you. So that's really cool. That's shout out to Sharday.
Hey. Well, yeah, it's like you have to like, nobody else is gonna do those things for you, right? Like, so you just have to go after like what you want, and sometimes it doesn't always work out. Sometimes like you don't do it in the time frame that you want, so then sometimes you're like, I ain't doing shit. Right. I'm just like I'm stagnant, but I'm learning to be okay with like the stagnant time, because like there's some times in my life that are super hectic. Yeah. So like right now where it's kind of like a lull, I'm just like learning how to like to live in that lull and like not always be like on the go and frantic. Right. So I think that's really important to like when we're ambitious, like when you're an ambitious person, when there's not like as much going on for you, like you just have to embrace that time too. So I think that's where I'm at. Like I'm just seeing the slowness of it all. What about you?
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. No, I'm doing good. I haven't been doing much either, but I've been really busy to the point where I do feel like I need to have a little bit of a lull point at some point, because just got back to, so like my job, right, when I work, I'm only working probably like 10 months out of the year, and I basically get 2 whole months off from work, right?
Like a teacher.
Pretty much, yeah. But so it's been really busy going back to work and stuff like that, doing my wrestling and doing shows and stuff. And I kind of forgot how much of a grind that is. Like when I got into it 10 years ago, I was 10 years younger, for one, so I had a lot more energy. And then now, like with other dynamics, like my kids, my relationship, and kind of finding the balance between all of that, it gets difficult. You know what I mean? It gets difficult. I found myself like, for the first time in a long time, sometimes feeling drained. And I'm always one of those guys who are like, oh, you're only drained because you're lack of motivation. I tell people stuff like that. Like you gotta have, if you have motivation, you're never drained. You always have the energy to do what you want to do. It's like, once you got that gas pedal down to the floor though, you're going to run out of gas some point. And
it's time to like refill your cup.
Yes. Yep.
I've found that that recharge time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. But everything I'm doing, I'm enjoying though. So that's a I guess a positive look at it, right? Like I'm not burning myself out to the point where I'm like, oh, I hate that I'm doing all of this all the time. It's stuff I genuinely enjoy. Like, of course, my family stuff, and then the wrestling stuff is just, it's literally, it's a passion and a pleasure at the same time.
So what, like, do you have advice for people who might be burning on both ends of the candle, like how to keep that balance?
Oh yeah. I would say just to kind of echo what you were saying, when you have those lulls, really enjoy those lulls. Don't take them for granted, and maximize the opportunities you have to yourself. Right. You don't have to always spread yourself thin for people. Because I do see that, like, I feel like a lot of people probably will go and do the max because they want to people please, right? And so they'll spread themselves way thin. But hey, you only got so much, I don't know, you only got so much jelly in the jar, I guess. You know what I mean? You can't spread on every cracker or every bread or anything like that. You gotta reserve some for home too. So
I wonder if that's like attributed to age at all.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm just learning, like we were changing like so much from like 20s to our 30s. Like I used to be very, like, not a yes person in a bad way, but like where I follow and say yes. Like I was just like, yeah, I could totally do that. Like I can, like, let's do it. Let's, like, I just said yes to everything. And now I'm like, no, no. It's like, nope. And I'm like, oh, like I have a little bit more energy. Yeah. And like it feels good to like not just put yourself in like weird situations, like you said, to make somebody else happy. So I'm not like questioning, like, damn, did I do the right thing? Like, why did I even say yes to that? Like, why did I put myself in that predicament? So yeah, I think just figuring out when to take that time, like when it's time to grind. Yeah. Like I think, and like we hear everybody say now, like everybody's like on the hustle. Like everybody's just like hustling. Yeah. I need to have a side hustle. Right. Like I need to like have my regular job, a side hustle. Like they're trying to do all these things to, I think, eventually be able to like get out of their 9-to-5.
Right.
So like I talk a lot about like my 9-to-5 because like I don't want to work a 9-to-5, but also it's just like, okay, what are those good things like a 9-to-5 affords you? Yeah. And like you have to keep doing it until like, things come to fruition. And I also take like these little weird opportunities that I get to do things as just like little stepping stones, and like it'll eventually, like, it all makes sense at some point, right? So like I think you have to know, like, some people just like know that they're supposed to do like big things, like, and it doesn't happen, instantaneously for some people. And I think I'm one of those people. Like I've just accepted that, like, I'm a late in life kind of person, like, right? Like some people come out of the womb knowing what they want to do, like what they want to be, like what their trajectory is. Like I'm ambitious, but I still don't know like what that is for me. But just like these little opportunities and like little things that I know, like I know that it's like probably leading me somewhere. So you just have to, I think, follow your gut. Like when you're having like when you are choosing the things that you do, like if you're feeling some type of way about it, like if you're on the fence, I feel like how do you deal with like if you're on the fence about like a decision? Yeah. Like how do you decide whether or not you're going to pursue that thing or say yes to that thing? How do you do it?
Well, listening to your gut goes a long way, and that's something that I failed to do a lot earlier in my life, and I've learned to do that more like later in my 30s now. But it pays off because like your gut doesn't lie. Like at the end of the day, you know what's good for you. But also you want to write it down. Like I'm a big proponent of writing stuff down. And there's like a method, I think they say like Abraham Lincoln used to use it, but like a lot of successful people use it, is where if you have a decision to make, you literally write the pros and cons, right? Mm-hmm. And you see which one there's more. Mm-hmm. There's more cons, there's more pros, and you base your decision off of that. Because that'll help you make a decision. It's not gonna make the decision for you. Mm-hmm. And I would say that to a lot of people too, if you are finding yourself as a person who's on the fence about a lot of things, nobody's going to make that decision for you. So you really have to find a way to make that decision, whatever makes sense to you. Because some people, I don't know, I'm a facts person. I look at the facts and be like, hey, this is the facts. This is what happens when you do this. Very methodical, right? Mm-hmm. I think other people are more of like well, how is this going to make me feel type decision maker. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be different for each person. But yeah, that's usually how I end up finding myself making decisions.
Yeah, you definitely have to make the conscious decision to say, I'm going to make this decision and nobody else is going to. And I've done like pros and cons lists too, but I've also just like, when it's more like cons, like, nah, fuck that. Yeah. So I don't know that has worked for me like the last couple of times, but maybe, and said thing didn't work out. So like maybe I should yeah.
That's why I'm a facts person.
I'm just go. Yeah. I should have followed the facts. But anyway. So like with your wrestling, you said it's your passion. It's what you enjoy doing. Like you love wrestling.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. So I got the chance to go and see my friend wrestle a couple weeks back. And because I've been saying it's gonna go $20 freaking. So yeah. Not even $20.
The bar show. Yeah. It's fun. So when you go to the bar show, it's 10.
I was like, what do you? I said 20. I was like, okay. She was like, what do you mean? And they're like, and you might not have a seat. I said, bitch, what? I said, we're gonna have to stand there. So anyway, they cleaned it off the CD for us. So it was great. They were very accommodating. But I just wanted like to tell you, like it was like because it was All-Star Weekend that we went to, right? Yeah. So like Salt Lake City was crazy. It was nuts. Parking was nuts. $50 a pop. Clubs $30 to get in. It was crazy.
Right.
But that little hour and was it like 2 hours?
It was 2 hours.
Yeah, it seemed like 2 hours. But was so fun. Like I didn't know what to expect like going in. Like I thought it was gonna be I'm sorry. I thought it was gonna be stupid. I was like, I'm here for my friend. Yeah. I was like, this is like, and I was telling like my other people that were with me, I'm like, look, I'm so sorry. I don't know what this people are like. I mean, I
don't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, but we get there, and like we had so much fun. Like the characters were so charactery. They had so much personality, and like what do you call them? Storylines or like the scripts? Or,
storylines.
The storylines, like they were so great, and like the different characters of the people and like their different personas, and just like the shit that they were saying about this too. I was like, what? Like, why are they saying that? And just like feeling the energy from the crowd, because like you could tell that they're regular people. Yeah. Like they know these people. Right. Like they come to support these people. And like I'm a newbie sitting back just like listening. But it was like so fun. Like, and just to see Rudy like come out and do his thing, like your personality like was so good. And like we all said like, and I was like definitely the best one. Next to sorry, what's her name?
Oh, Rekka Tehaka.
Yes. She's just beautiful. Like you're great too, but she's great to look at.
No, she's great.
Yeah, she's beautiful. But it was just like so fun, and like you just felt like compelled to like yell something out from the crowd, and you just felt like it was acceptable to be yelling random stuff like in the lull of the like when it was quiet. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, and my friends had fun too. My girlfriend had fun. And Paul, your other friends were there to support you. Yeah. So you had a nice little fan section. And the other, I can't remember who the people are in the back of me, but it was a really good time. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably go again. So you guys should also go and check it out. It's just so fun and funny and entertaining. I'm so thoroughly entertained. That's thank you for the continuous invite. I'm glad that I went that night because the rest of the night was shit. So I'm glad that I got something out of that night. So, but yeah, you have a real talent, and I think you should keep doing it. Yeah, it's a good time.
I'm so happy that you guys had a good time. And so Cindy who also went, she messaged me and she was like, I really enjoy seeing you in there because like you could tell you're in your element and stuff. I was like, yes, thank you. I was like, because I do enjoy it, and that's the thing about pro wrestling, that it's silly, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. I mean, some people get wrapped up on the fact that like, oh, well, isn't it like all worked out and it's like predetermined? Yes, it's a show, right? It's an athletic show. It's a display of athleticism telling a story. And the people that go get it. And so they understand who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, who they like, who they don't like. And you know what I mean? So you get all these people.
Some of those moves, though, look very real.
Oh, it hurts like much.
Yeah, it's like, oh. I was like, I don't think I would have done that. But yeah, like, the only critique I have, I'm just going to put it out there. Your pants, I feel like you should make them like a Speedo.
Oh, okay.
Like, do like kind of the rock thing.
Yeah.
With the knee pad.
Okay, so
I
like,
feel like that's more of your look.
Okay.
Than the long spandexy thingy. I don't know if those are, yeah. I think people would enjoy seeing you in like some booty shorts more with the knee pads.
I guess
So maybe you should maybe work that out.
they call them pro trunks.
Oh, pro trunks.
Yeah, so
I'm not
I
a
guess the pro
jargon.
trunks.
But yeah, I was like, as I was sitting there watching, I was like, yeah, he needs some pro trunks. Like, that's the only critique I would have. But maybe we should just try it out at a show and see if what the crowd thinks and how you feel. I'm sure it's really uncomfortable, maybe.
It's crazy because like I was telling this to a coworker because I've only wrestled in like short shorts and stuff at some shows, and it's because like I'm working out. I'm trying to get my body back to where I liked it to be. You know what I mean? But it's crazy when you're in there. Your body's on display for hundreds of people, and they're critiquing you, right? And so like you have that in the back of your mind. So I'm like, all right, let me start off with like the tights, and then once I'm really nice and firm, I'll get into the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, it's good to hear that like that men do have like those insecurities about their body. So that was a very vulnerable moment just then to let us thank you.
And it's a pride thing too, because I want people, if they're gonna see me, they're gonna see me at my peak.
So you want the comments that people make about homegirls' ass about your ass.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
If I can get like, put, they call it in the wrestling business put over. If I get put over like Rekka for her assets,
Okay.
then yeah, I'd be a happy man.
I was excited. Like, yeah, it was great seeing you, but it was better seeing her. Tell her I said hello.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's watching. Rekka, I'm pretty sure you might check this out, and so yes, you're very appreciated out there in the crowd.
We're very beautiful. Anyway.
So I'm so happy you guys went, and like Paul went to 2 shows, and he was just like in love with it because he said the same thing. He was like, I didn't know if I was gonna like it. I just kind of went because I wanted to support you and see you, and he ended up loving it, and that's why he went to the second show. Yeah. The bar shows are a lot funner because you can drink, and I'll even drink a few after my match. So,
Yeah, and I got a good time sober. Like I was always sober.
That's what's up.
So yeah, that's when you know it's a good time. So
Yeah, and
congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Keep going.
I greatly appreciate that. And
just be careful. Like your back.
Oh.
Like I messed up my back a few weeks ago, and like that's no joke. Like
yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna be mobile for a while. Like it was bad. So just be careful.
Oh yeah, yep. I've already gotten injured twice, which is funny because I was never injured when I did it 10 years ago, right? But now that I've been back, I've been injured twice. Not majorly, but like I had a cracked rib my first show back, and it was because I tucked my elbow in when you're not supposed to tuck your elbow in. You're supposed to fall flat, right? Like if you're going on your face or you're falling on your back, you got to fall flat because you got to make sure like you're expanded. Because if you're compressed, that's when you get injured. I've tucked and was compressed, cracked my rib. It was pretty quickly to heal though. I'll say that. I still heal like a young man.
I would say
I may not feel like a young man, but I heal like a young man.
it's not because you tucked. Pause. Because you're
It's because I'm
fucking old.
And then I hurt my shoulder, and I was wrestling Manny, who I wrestled that night, Manny Lemons, at another show, and I reverse elbowed him, but I leaned too far in, and I think it might have separated it, and Rekka helped put it back in. And but then it wasn't that bad either. It was just it hurt that night. But
Man, your opponent with the lemons. Like the guy that he was wrestling had a bag of lemons.
Yes.
Like a literal bag of lemons that he's throwing out to the crowd and just squeezing them. Like I was like, it has to be dangerous. Like why is he doing that?
Manny Lemons, that's his thing, man. He's his slogan, his trademark is zest of the best. He's zesty, I guess. You know what I mean? In a good way, not a bad way.
We have to figure out a better way.
Yep. And that's his thing though. He's the king of the lemonade stand.
Oh, gosh,
Well,
okay.
that's what he is. So
Right, that is outrageous. Right, what is he doing? Yelling.
what else did he say? You suck down the sour and get the power. That's his thing too.
I was like, if he throws a lemon at me, we're good.
Sade is gonna roll in there. She rolls in and just power bombs him.
Like, I throw a lemon over him. But now he threw him to the left. So he's fine.
Oh shit, that's great. I'm so happy you had a good time at that, and I really enjoy it. Like I really enjoy performing for people. That's the thing. Like my brother is like a musician performer, right? He likes to perform musically, and and I like to perform in front of people, but I like acting and stuff like that. But this is kind of like, and I've always liked sports, so this is kind of the marriage of those two passions of mine, is athleticism with, you know, entertainment. So that's why I enjoy doing it so much.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this before we started rolling. Like, bro, have you been to your brother's matches? And he's like, yeah, like 10 years ago. And I was like, oh damn, we ain't trying to start nothing. But how do you guys like what's that dynamic like? Like you do, you know, Rome does music and his performances. He also said you haven't been to his. So it's like I didn't think it was a thing. But like how do you like do you guys want to be there? Like just like life gets out of the way, or like you guys just like have that kind of separation of like, this is your thing, this is my thing, and then, you know, obviously like we're brothers, we're family, so like we're always gonna be like connected. But like how do you guys determine like when and how you're going to support each other in your other endeavors?
I think that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think I've been on stage with him before. I've been to a couple of his shows, but it's been probably about that same amount of time, about 10 years or so. But I think we do got to make more of an effort to support one another's endeavors and stuff. I mean, I've let things get in the way, like work, or I've let things get in the way, like, okay, it's a show. If I go, I'm going to be there. It's going to seem like I'm doing something entertaining for myself without my partner. And I don't want to create like any, you know, like animosity there, and like, oh, you're just using it as an excuse because your brother's there to go out and have a good time. Right. So there's that kind of aspect, but no, I do got to make more of an effort to go out. Cause like the thing is like when Roman's circle of people that he entertains with are also friends, you know, and family, like our cousin does shows with him and stuff like that too. So I probably should make more of an effort to go and do it. Yeah, I don't know.
But do you guys care?
I mean, it doesn't bother me that he doesn't go, because I know at the end of the day, I have his full support. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because he's my brother, so I know that he already, by default, I have his support in whatever I do. So I guess it's more meaningful when people who are my peers or my friends go, because then they're actually showing, hey, we do support you, like we do fuck with you, and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think it's.
There's not that expectation there for both to support each other in your separate endeavors. Like you just inherently know, like, my brother's got my back, he supports me. And if there was like ever a time where you like asked him, like specifically said like, hey, I need you to be here at this one thing, like, you know, he would go and be there.
And vice versa. It's just how it is. Like, I think it's just unspoken. Like, you with your siblings, like kind of, you know, to an extent you have their back, you know, that you're going to be there for them if they're ever really in a dire situation and stuff like that. But if they're doing something, you might not have to show up. You might not have to go, you know?
Or maybe it's just like a phone call, like, yo, bro, like good luck tonight, and you're going to be out. Like, and maybe, I don't know if that's because you guys are like men. Like,
probably
that
too.
moving.
Yeah.
Like maybe sisters might be a little bit more.
Yeah, because my sister's gone. Both my sisters have gone, actually. Now that we talk about it.
Is that a jab?
Yeah, slight jab. No, because my older sister's gone to my shows. My younger sister has gone to my shows, and she's making my t-shirts to sell. She's making them for me. So so they're like super supportive. So
have you guys tossed around the idea of like doing a hybrid, like as a show?
Yeah. Like
there can be like a show before the show. Right. I think that would be dope.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
The Rocha brothers.
Yeah. And it has crossed my mind because, you know, we already have 2 feet in those puddles, right? Or in those pools, if you'll say. So it could happen. We can find a way to have like, hey, can you have some of your friends perform, and maybe there's like a stage and because like there's a boxing, what is it called? Mike Tyson fought for them against Roy Jones. What's that called? That promotion they have? The Paul brothers were on there too. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But Thriller. Yeah, Triller. So they'll have but they'll have like a concert between the matches. And so we can essentially do something like that, where it's like an event where, you know, performance, 2 songs or something, have like a wrestling match, and then have another couple songs, wrestling match, the main event, like maybe incorporates all of it in one.
I didn't that'd be dope, and like might bring bigger, like, you know, more people to see, like, exposure for both of you. But I don't know if we've ever talked about this on here, but like, how did you guys like come together to do this? Because like you have your own separate things, right? But then you guys do this together.
Yeah.
So like,
Podcast.
Have we talked about how this came to fruition?
Not really. I think we kind of touched on it a few times maybe, but it was honestly just, we'd always talked about doing something together, right? Like using our creative minds to do something. And I had just gotten really into like podcasts. I was listening to a lot of podcasts because the job I was doing at that time, I had a lot of time in between like what I was doing to listen. Yeah. And I was like, I can do this. I know I could do this. And so I told him, I was like, we should do it. And, you know, we could both be on there, or you can just do all the multimedia stuff because you're good at that. And let's just start it. And I think it was like within a few days, we put this together, right? I think it wasn't even like a preparation thing. We're like, okay, let's prepare. And then we were just like, let's fucking do it. And the first episode, if you guys go back, maybe newbies are watching this, if you go back to episode 1, that was literally like, I was on the phone with him at work and told him, hey, I'm going to come over after work and let's just do it. Let's just guerrilla style shoot the first episode.
No, I love that. I think that's like the thing that like stops people the most is like just getting started and like just doing it. So yeah, I love that. You can have this together and then you can go do your thing, go do your own thing. Yeah, I love that. So anyway.
Asked about you getting a little bit of equipment and trying to, or like, you know, you have some ideas.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I've wanted to start one, but it's again, just like, where do you start? How do you start? Like, where am I going to get the time? Right. So just, you know, hearing you say, like, yeah, I just did it. So I just went out and bought like some shit and I'm like, okay, well, I have to use it. And I'm like, Rome, I don't know how to use it. You know, but you just have to like start because like, I love doing this with you guys. Like, that's a great dynamic. And then, you know, I was just thinking like, maybe it's just something I do by myself in like a shorter form. So yeah, I'm just like looking at that because I really, really hate working.
Yeah, I feel you.
I really hate working. And I feel like this could be a space where, you know, maybe I can make even just like a few extra dollars, like somehow, like, right? But you really have to like put work into it. Like, I think even just like doing this like with you guys, right? And like we watch a ton of podcasts and we see, you know, especially like the bigger podcasts. So like we know that they're like making money, right? But well, one, they have like larger teams, like, right, that are doing all of the little aspects and like, you know, the people who are talking aren't doing all the little things. But you really just have to dedicate the time. Like you have to like put actual time towards it to make it, you know, not just another podcast, because like it's saturated as fuck right now. So like, what do you do to like make your podcast stand out? And like we've had, you know, we've talked about like different things and ideas. But like when you're doing it, like when you're bringing 3 different people together with 3 different lives, like sometimes it's hard to like put all that vision together. But I think just like, you know, with a little bit planning and organization, like we can definitely do that, because I think all this works. Like Roman does all this stuff, like he makes it all great, and you know, and then us with the talking and all this. And so we have a good team, we have a good base here, and I'm just excited. And again, it's just like a fun thing to do. Like I get to see you guys, shoot the shit a little bit. Like it's kind of an outlet because I don't have friends right now. And so it's just like a good time to like sit and talk to people and anyway reminisce. So yeah.
And other platforms, like how was the other podcast? Or like, didn't do that one or like?
No, so I'm supposed to do that tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
There's like a lockdown situation as hell. I don't know. And his apartment. Well, yeah, something like extreme that happened. But yeah, like again, like people have reached out to me to say like, hey, do you guys want to do our podcast? And so like there's a lot of like networking opportunities too. And you know, just collaborating with other, you know, smaller podcasts and like how can we collaborate and reach different types of audiences? Like especially for me, I'm like, yeah, this is like we're Ogden based, we're Utah based, but there's so many people out there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yep.
And like that we can learn from. So haven't done that yet. It's supposed to be tomorrow. I'll let you guys know how it goes and feel like completely be on the
web. Yeah.
Yeah, online. So that'll be different. Like I haven't because I like the like emotion off of like someone, but yeah, I think podcasting is a great space to be in if you have something to say, and you can make it interesting for the people that are watching. So yeah,
Most definitely. That's awesome. I enjoy watching like your TikTok and stuff like that. Like it's entertaining.
Tell me why my grandma's on TikTok now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's not. I'm like, Grandma, where are you on TikTok?
Until Biden gets rid of it.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it while it lasts.
Right. But no, like you do have like a good personality that people are drawn to though. And I think that's what makes this work too, is because like I think both our friends groups have kind of like told us that in a way, right? Like we have magnetic personalities. So you get the forces together, the mega powers together, and it just works. But doing like when you do your own thing, like I know you're gonna have tons of support. You've obviously got our support and stuff like that, and it's just gonna work. You just have that.
And honestly, like it made it like more like, it's like more accessible because like I have you guys as like a resource, quote unquote. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I have help.
Yeah.
Like if I need it, like I can hit you guys up or hit Roman up and be like, how do you do this? And like, yeah, I'll totally help you. And so I think like with anything like you do in life, like if you feel like you have a support system, like it's going to be easier for you to like want to pursue that thing. Like it's a little bit more scary when you feel like you're alone and you don't have anybody to help you. So I know that I have that.
Yeah.
So yeah. See what happens.
And a question, like say if you guys were like to go to All-Star Weekend, and if you were in the building and like people knew you guys, what would you want them to know you for?
Oh, that's really a good question. That reminds me, what was I just watching? Oh, it was another podcast, but this guy was talking about, and it kind of relates to what you just asked, but he was talking about celebrity, right? Like, so this guy is a male coach, right? And I listened to him to kind of get his perspective on things. I don't agree with a lot of things that he says, but a lot of stuff I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I probably need to be more in like my frame, right, as a man sometimes. But he was talking about how he became a celebrity because he was saying a lot of these people were talking about Michael B. Jordan, right, on his podcast, and they were like, how
Everybody's talking about me.
but they were like, even celebrities are getting like, they get dogged by women. Like even celebrities get torn apart by women and stuff like that online. And he's like, well, yeah, and you're going to get more of it as a celebrity. That's the thing you guys don't get. Like so many of you guys want to be the man, but when you become the man, you come with a lot of shit with being the man, right? And I guess he was on I Love New York, if you guys remember that show.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so he was he was talking about his experience. He's like, I was on that show. He's like, and mind you, the episodes don't come out the same week you film them. Like they filmed them and then they come out for like a year later. He's like, so I'd gotten off the show early. He goes, but the show came out and it was like the #1 rated show on cable at the time. He's like, and I fucking would go to the clubs and shit and people would recognize me and I have all these people around me like knowing me from the show. And I'm like, yo, like that's not even me. Like the producers told me to be this guy. That's not even me. And like women were like yelling at him because like, oh, you're this and that. And, and guys were kind of like clowning him sometimes, like, because he was, oh, aren't you the dude that, New York said this to and stuff like that. So he's like, it's just, you're never going to know what people like you for. Right. And so I would hope that they would never know me. Right. They would know of me. That's the thing. So if you walk into a room and people know of you, like they know of Jay-Z, they know of Lil Wayne and stuff like that, but they don't know them. And that's why I think celebrities put up this kind of like wall too at a time where they kind of have to ignore people because there's so many people trying to get their attention at one time. They got to remain like focused on just why they're there. And
I think though, like in the social media era, like that is, I think that's a problem. Like the opposite of what you're saying is like people do think they know these celebrities, like because like we're seeing them on social media, like we're following their numerous accounts, like people like regular people think that they know these celebrities and these people. I think that's like why celebrities are getting in trouble right now for like slapping people. Travis Scott allegedly might have a court case because slap somebody or whatever, slapping phones out of hair, like Cardi B's doing community service here, like she might have slapped somebody because like people think they know you, people think they own you,
right,
and they think that you're there for their entertainment at all times. And so I think that's kind of like, people like regular, and they're so accessible, right? Oh my God. So on TikTok, there's a girl that I follow. Her name's Jackie Aina. She's on YouTube. She's beautiful and she does beauty content. She's the owner of all kinds of stuff, and she's a Black girl, and she looks like me. She's amazing. I've been following her on TikTok and watching all of her videos for like 10, or not TikTok, YouTube for like 10 years, right? She's huge. Like she had like the glow up was real, right? And she's like still like such a down to earth person. Anyway, follow her on TikTok. I wrote under one of her videos, and there was like thousands of like comments and stuff like that. I never thought she was gonna say anything to me. She wrote me back, right? She like, right?
So cool,
And it's funny because like that excites me, like YouTubers, right? Like, or influencers that I've been like, I feel like I've gone through this journey with you.
Because you've been following for so long.
Yeah, like I've been following you so long. I've seen like all the things that you've done, your progressions. And so like when she replied to my comment, like you couldn't tell me shit that day. I was like, the sky could have fell out the sky, and I didn't give no damns. It was Jackie Aina replied to my damn comment, her TikTok video, and I told my sister. She's like, okay, great for you. My sister is. My girlfriend's like, okay, and I'm like, like, you know what I mean? And so like we feel like we know these people. Like obviously, I never like go up and accost her if I saw her. Like I'm very. I mean, politely. I might politely be like, hi, can I get an autograph? And I wouldn't accost her. But like some of the celebrities are getting accosted.
Right.
So yeah, I think we do feel like we do have a certain level of access to these people that we did not have before, which makes it dangerous for everybody involved.
Right.
But as far as like what I would want somebody to know about me, like if, you know, they saw me out, I don't know, like I would just hope that they would, you know, appreciate me just like my genuineness or like I don't ever want to be in a position like whether on camera, off camera, like whatever happens, like I don't ever want to be put in a position where I have to like compromise who I am. And I feel like a lot of, you know, celebrities and influencers say that when they first start, but then the money starts coming in, the endorsement deals, the brand deals, and all these things, and they're like, "Damn, like, I could say this or like this, like it's not going to be a big deal." There's another beauty influencer. Her name is Michaela. There was like a huge controversy about like this mascara that she was promoting, the L'Oreal Telescopic, the new mascara. Anyway, so she was like saying like how amazing it was, but then she like added like a false eyelash allegedly. So the beauty community like tore her apart, and she's got like millions of followers, and like they just like came at her, and like she's a very genuine influencer. So like dang, she even fell victim to not staying true to like who she was. So like I would hope like if it, you know, if anything like that ever happened and I became like noticeable to people in that way, I would just hope that they like would resonate with just like I'm like you. But like you can't always say that either, because like some people just aren't. They're unique. They're their own people. Like they're not like everybody. But I would hope that they would appreciate me for my genuineness, and I hope that I would stay in a place where I'm not like influenced by those things. I'm not making money doing anything right now, so I can't say. But right now, I want to say that I have integrity and character.
There you go. Integrity and character at this very moment.
I want to say that right now. But so speaking of celebrities being under scrutiny, I think everybody's talking about Michael B. Jordan for several different reasons. First of all, I've heard Creed is amazing. I haven't seen it yet.
I want to see it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for partner to come so we can see it. Number 3, that picture that he took with his co-star. What did he say his name was?
Yeah,
co-star.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fine as hell too. And him being called corny on the red carpet with poor man. Oh, and then he's been under scrutiny for dating white women.
Yeah.
The white women.
White. White.
So, where do you want to start with Michael B. Jordan? Like, how do you feel like he's feeling in this moment where he's kind of like, you know, we heard Joe Budden say at the top of his game right now. He's having these different, like, you know, everybody's coming at him for something different. Like, how do you think he's handling that? And like,
I think I assume.
Is it fair?
No, I don't think it's fair, but I assume that it's like, you know, like water off a duck's back, like an OG would say. It just doesn't affect you, right? It rolls off the back.
Where would that happen? A lot of
probably some chemical in their feathers, some scientific shit like that.
squirrel.
Yeah. But no, I think I don't know. I think that's going back to being the man, right? Like right now he is at the top of his game. And I think that because he is the top of his game, more people are saying what they want, or they're using him for what they can get out of him, right? So a lot of blogs, vlogs, and everything are
like storyline, headlines,
talking about this situation because he is the man right now, and this happened to happen at a time where he's got a big movie premiere in that he's directed and all this stuff. So of course it's going to be the talk of the web. But the Joe Budden thing, I think I like Joe Budden's music. Okay, I like Joe Budden, but he is a hater at times, and I think he's just hating because Michael B. Jordan's the man. Yeah. Like he had to go out of his way. If you watch the clip, which we did, where he's like, the allegedly so-called sexiest man alive. Like, why do you have to say allegedly?
Allegedly.
Why do you have to like drop those little shades at him? You know what I mean? But I don't fault Michael B. Jordan for saying that, because we don't know what his
for saying what that
he bring it up. The girl was.
The corny situation.
Right? You know, he's like, he made that comment, I'm the corny. Yeah, that's right. You remember from high school, I'm the corny dude, right? And she's like, oh no, I didn't say that. Which he's like, no, yeah, you did. I don't fault him at all, because for one, we don't know their relationship, right? We don't know who they were before they are in our public eye now. But he obviously took offense to it.
He held on to it.
Held on to it. So he must have
10, 15 years later.
He must have had at least a decent enough relationship with this person that it affected him.
Yeah.
Right? So,
or not, or he felt like, you don't even know me, like, I'm going to say this. But so that's like another thing too. Like, do you feel like he should have even addressed that, being as like he is Michael B. Jordan?
I mean,
or like that was just like the opportunity.
Yeah, just things in the moment. You could never judge somebody's reaction in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's because she came up to him kind of like and we go way back, is what she said. She's like, this is Michael B. Jordan, and come on, you already know, we go way back.
So like it was insinuating.
Yes, and so she's already trying to gain some of his energy by saying that. So he had to cut it off. Like he had to cut her off. Like, yo, come on now. You know what it really is. Don't fake with me type stuff. So I respect him for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? If she didn't say any of that, if she didn't say we go way back or anything, and then he brought it up, maybe I can get on board with like what Joe Budden's trying to say, right? Like if she was like, this is Michael B. Jordan, the director and actor in the movie and stuff. And he's like, hold on, wait, before we go any further, you're the girl that called me corny back in high school, aren't you? Now that turns into a whole different situation. But she was trying to get the clout from him, and he had to cut that off. So,
but do we give people grace though? Like that was high school. There's I found in our 30s, like I feel like we reference high school a lot, like, you know what I mean? But like we've been out of it, like you and me, and I can't, long enough we're in it at this point. And like I don't know how old Michael B. Jordan and L'Oreal are, but I'm just like, why do we go back? Like why is like high school so ingrained in our psyche and like who we are? Like even like if it wasn't a good experience, like people in high school are like, I was the nerd, I was bullied, like everybody carried me, like, you know, and then they go on to like that and like, well, you said I look like a swamp creature back then, but I look at me now, like in high school, I was like, bitch, it was high school, like our brains were developed. Yeah. We were just like doing
we were kids,
dumb shit. So like you can't hold me like accountable for like what I said in high school when I was still learning, growing, figuring out who I was. Like I was a child, like you know what I mean? So kids are fucking me. Like it's like high school for some people is like the worst time of their life. Like most people, like if you're smart, you're trying to forget about that shit, right? Yeah. So I'm just like, should he have given her some grace and just like let it be and just be like, 'cause, I mean, she's successful like in her own right, but at the end of the day, he's Michael B.
Right.
Like the levels aren't even there. So I'm just like, do you give that energy at all? I don't know. I mean, apparently he felt like he needed to address it because, like you said, like don't be fatal salvage, like said this, but at the same time, it's just like, I was in high school.
Yeah,
like y'all.
I mean, I guess he could have, right? But I don't know. I'm just saying I don't fault him for doing what he did,
Yeah.
saying what he said. I'm not going to be Joe Budden and go on a rant about how he's disrespecting.
What do you guys want to meet Joe Budden?
No,
At any-
definitely not. I mean, I want to have the women Joe Budden.
Yeah, he does.
He's had some bad
Beautiful women. Yeah.
Yes,
And again, I think it's his voice, just the way his
right.
voice sounds.
No, he's got like he's just got
Not his personality.
he's just got it, right? Like I don't know. So I guess that's how it is. Just some dudes got it like that. Like he just has it like that.
Some people just have it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the it factor is?
That's such a good question.
What is the it factor?
I don't
Because
know.
we hear people say all the time, like, they just had it. Like they're just a star. Like they just have it. What do you think that is?
I don't know. That's such a complex question, but
Besides
it's something. Yeah, besides it.
What is it?
But that is something that I've kind of like been thinking about, especially because the people that I'm surrounded with, especially in like my wrestling and stuff like that, some people will bring that up to me, right? They'll be like, hey, you got, if you dedicate yourself, you can do pretty good in this because you obviously have like
It.
you have like the attraction. People can look at you and be like, oh, I want to be that guy, and stuff like that. But then at the end of the day, I don't know, like you see other guys that really have it too. And you see women that have it and you're like, damn, I don't got that. So what do I have? Because they obviously have it. Yeah, they got it. But I was even thinking about that over the weekend. So, okay, I'm in a bar, right, with my friends, okay, and my best friend, right, and we're drinking, we're talking and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like looking at all the surroundings, what's going on around us and stuff, and kind of noticing like, okay, some people will come up to us and talk to us that know us, have familiarity with us, but there's one person in particular in this bar that's getting all the attention, right, especially from women, and he's not doing a damn thing. He's just there, and young, older, middle-aged women are going up to him, and they got to have at least a little conversation with him, and you're just like, damn, that guy got it. You know what I mean?
So this is a conversation they were talking about on the Brilliant Idiot. Do you guys listen to the podcast, Charlene and Andrew show?
Yes, I wrote clips.
Okay, so they were talking about that, right? They were talking about, do women, because it was piggybacking off of like the Drake situation where he was just like, I'm the guy with the melons in the room, and like people are going to, be attracted to that just based on like who I am. Like people are going to try to, talk to me or whatever. But they were talking about like, okay, so are women more attracted to the man? Because like so he was saying men, like when they put on their outfits and their chains and like their whatever, that they feel like women in the club. Like they feel like a sexy woman does, like when she's got her titties out and like, the cat suit, hair done, lashes done, everything, banging, a baddie, if you will, right? So a guy's chains, his hat, his jewelry makes him feel like a baddie.
Right.
Even if he's not good looking, like he feels like once he stepped out, he's now a baddie. Yeah. And it was just like, are women attracted to like the chains and the jewelry and the like all of this, or like, are they more attracted? Like, is that guy going to get the girl opposed to the guy that maybe doesn't have the chains and the jewelry, but he's still successful, but like that's just like not his persona? Like, are we more attracted to like the outward, like the bling, because like it appears that this person is it like a money thing? Yeah, right.
I say yes.
So they were saying like, does that guy have it, or does he have stuff? Right. Or does he have the stuff? Like, because my sister talking about the episode where I'm like, if I had Michael B. Jordan next to me, and then like Andrew Schultz next to me, like most women would be like, Michael B. Jordan for sure, but not me. I want Andrew Schultz because like he's funny as hell. He's smart as fuck. He's had like these different life experiences. Like I've never been like really a looks person. So I've been told. That's a slide on me or on them. Like I don't really know how to take that, but I don't go for looks first. Like I guess that's like a bonus. Like, but can you make me laugh? Like, are you funny? Are you nice? Are you smart? Like, do you know something? Right. So like for me, it would be Andrew Schultz all day. But I feel like some women wouldn't. Maybe they want this.
I think I can appreciate your point of view because I think that's rare. I think most women are attracted to the stuff, right? Because, like, for instance, okay, I've never been a guy who gets like a lot of female attention at a club, right? I might get some, right, and stuff like that, but there's guys that I'll go out with and they get all the female attention. And I'm like, okay, you know, well, that's cool, but it's because of how they dress, right? They dress, I guess, I've been out with guys who dress like with the chains. They have a lot of tattoos, you know what I mean? I don't have tattoos. I just never got them. But the guys who got tattoos, who wear like a couple of pieces of jewelry, maybe they got like a nice fitted hat on and stuff like that, they get all the attention. So I think it's kind of like most women want the stuff versus the guy. Yeah. Because even women online, and I was bringing this up to Roman, Michael B. Jordan's under a lot of scrutiny right now too, because this viral Twitter tweet is going around where they're like, Michael B. Jordan just doesn't do it for me. He looks like a guy who's responsible. Like he looks like a guy who knows at any given moment where his birth certificate's at, and that doesn't get me wet.
I wonder if I just you saying that he knows where his birth certificate and social security number is.
He's ordering.
I don't have to file it for his ass. Like I could leave the country and this nigga could take care of himself and not be like, babe, where's my underwear? How do I work the dryer and the washer? What? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who these women are, but like I love that for them and for me, for everybody involved. Like, so yeah, I guess that again, maybe it comes with like an age thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, I definitely, Michael B. Jordan is fine for sure. And like maybe he's smart or whatever. Like I just haven't really heard him talk like that about like politics and like, you know, finances and things like that. Like those are like trigger things. I'm like, oh shit. Like, okay. Because of course we want to secure and safe and all those things. So thinking the damn club with the tattoos and the chains and fitted, like, yeah, you might look good and might have some good dick, but like, no, like you're probably not gonna be able to take care of me. You're flinging that dick out like, everywhere. You got all kinds of kids and you got money.
I think that's the same thing for like guys too. Like, I mean, obviously guys they're solely attracted to the exterior, right? Like men are that's just how it is. Like,
why are you guys like that?
I guess it's just genetic. I don't know. But we're attracted to the exterior, right? We're attracted to what's appealing to the eyes. And I was reading a book actually recently they were saying, and it's about attraction, but it was talking about like how men have always been like physically attracted. Like I know when I'm physically attracted to a woman, right? But women, even if they're physically attracted to somebody, they also have to have like an emotional, mental attraction to them for everything to align. Like that's why guys, you know, go out and have all these different baby mamas, because they just are physically attracted to a bunch of women, and just that physical attraction is enough for them to get it hard and stick it in and do their business, right? But like,
and they're all so fly, y'all don't know how to apply a condom,
right? Yeah.
Just put a condom on.
Please just put a condom on, guys. But women have to have like, you have to. The way the author put it is like a woman has to have. I'm gonna get it wrong, but she has to have emotional attraction, physical attraction, plus it wasn't mental, but like she has to have an idea in her mind of, hey, can I see myself doing this with this person before they'll act, right? And that's why you don't see women going up to like a lot of guys in the bar and stuff like that, unless he got all the juice and stuff. But because they don't want to be perceived as like, oh, I'm acting like a guy. Like, you know, I'm just going after what's aesthetically pleasing to me, right? But men will do that all day, every day. Yeah. Like, if you look good, they're just going up to you. Not, you know, they don't give a fuck what they look like. Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't care what they look like. Yeah.
I think you insulted my intelligence, like my whole being. Like, what made you think you could just come up to me and have a conversation looking and smelling like that?
Oh my God, look at this.
Like, why?
Oh my God.
Well, they also said that too. Taylor, the producer, was like, it's the smells, really. Like, if a man smells good, like, we're going to be like, like, we're like, we're attracted to smells. I would agree with that. Like, I like a good smelling man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like interesting how we're talking about just like the different levels of attraction. Like, yeah. Again, Michael B. Jordan, he like, right? But like for like longevity, sustainability, and like, you know, intellectual challenge, or, you know, to challenge me, like I would definitely like want someone more like Andrew, because like I'm also finding, I've always known this, but like, I need someone who is more dominant than me. Obviously, we've talked about that, and who can teach me something that I don't know, like who I can sit down and like have like an intellectual conversation with. Like that is very, like that's more important to me than like what somebody looks like. And I think people get a lot of scrutiny for like what your partner looks like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I think that's like why relationships aren't like lasting long, because like people are getting into relationships, I think, with people because of like what other people think, or what you think, or how you think you're going to be perceived by the masses by dating this person when this person doesn't align with any of the values that you have in real life. So for me, I'm just like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, however my life goes, I'm just like, I want to date somebody, be with somebody who I can actually have a conversation with. And I think, again, I don't know if we chalk it up to age. Like, I don't know if a 20-year-old wanted to say that right now. Speaking of 20-year-olds, that's another reason I don't, like, I haven't been out, because, like, when you go...
Oh, my God, it's all 20s. Yeah.
I'm like,
That's how that's how I felt. Yep. This is exactly how I felt the other weekend. Like, there was so many people at this particular place, and I'm like, and they're all young as fuck, like faces that are not familiar to me, and I'm like, I'm the guy now. I'm the old guy now.
Yeah, they're not familiar because they were just being born
Right.
when we were going into high school. But yeah, anyway, so Michael B. Jordan.
Going back to, poor Michael B. Jordan. Go back to what you said, though, like about the intellect and like having a conversation with somebody. Have you ever had an experience where maybe you were getting to know somebody, or you were with somebody and you get into that roadblock? Like, you're like, damn, you're really not as in depth as I thought you were. Like, how do you handle that roadblock? Like, I'll share too how I've handled that in the past. But like, you got into that roadblock before?
Why are you asking me this?
I just want to know. Like, it just happened. Like, that question just arose from what you said.
Weird.
Really?
Huh. Yeah.
Elaborate.
I was trying to like, what do I want to share? Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are some very general terms. That's yeah. So, weird that you asked that.
It just came out of the ether of the universe.
Okay, it's not the ether. Okay. So yeah, definitely for sure. Because I think we've said before, like when you're dating someone, right, you kind of put you bring your representative, right? And, you know, in some cases, like, yeah, you're physically attracted to somebody. So like, that's how you kind of get in the door, right? And then people tend to like kind of say the right things, or not the right things. They say what you want to hear, right? And you pick and choose like what you want to hear from them. So it's not even like they're saying the right things. Like you're choosing like the good things that you want to pick out.
Right.
And that's a you thing, right? Like I did that, and not necessarily that they're red flags, but you know it might not be what you want or what aligns, right? But yeah, like, so yes, I guess the short answer is yes. I don't want to like say too much, but like, how do you remedy that, right? Like, what do you do if you found someone and then you like, okay, like we're good, but then like when you start getting into like more settings and like you start doing more things and like you start showing more sides to yourself to that person and vice versa, and you're like, oh damn, like you aren't who I thought you were, or you aren't who I wanted you to be. Like, how do you, like, can you make a pivot from that? Like, do you have a conversation? Do you just tell them like, I need more, or I'm not getting this from you? Or how would you say that? Like, how do you do that? Like, if you find out like, dang, they're not like challenging me like intellectually, or they're not, maybe, we don't have the same taste in certain things. Like, I don't want to date me by any means, like, right? But I feel like there is like something to be said about you and whoever you're dating, like to have stuff in common.
Yeah.
Like, right, that's kind of what makes it work. Like, you can have different personality types and things like that, but like the morals and the trajectory of like where you're going should be the same. But like, what happens when you figure out that's not the case, but like you've grown to care about this person. So how do you do that?
Yeah, it's tough, right? And it's like, I don't know, but I've gotten to areas in relationships with people, I'll just say that, with people, but where you literally get to a roadblock and you're like, damn, like not to get like, I don't know, arrogant or anything, but like I'm kind of on a higher trajectory than you. Like if I ever had a graph and based on what I've learned about you, I'm trending this way, like a stock or something, right? And you're kind of like, and I'm just like this, like you're like, damn. And it sucks because when you guys started, you guys were both like right here because you were getting to know each other, you know what I mean? And everything's climbing up and you're like, okay, yeah, this is nice. Okay, like, okay, well, maybe there's a little bit of the dip, but eventually those two charts, they branch off.
Yeah.
So I've been there and it's like tough because like you said, you get feelings for this person, you care about this person, but then you start to realize like, wow, there's that fork at the road. Like the river is going to split off at some time and your boat can't handle this side of my river, right? Like your boat's just not going to be good enough to go through the waters we're about to get into. You should just go onto your river, you know? And I think that's just a growth thing, really. There was a time in my life where I would kind of stick and be like, hold on, I hope you stay. Like, I hope you stay on the boat. You know, like I'm already prepared. Like I know what, you know, I got all the stuff here to keep me alive on this journey.
Yeah.
I hope you do too.
Yeah.
And then they just fucking fall off the boat. They fall over the waterfall and then they're dead.
Well, no, they're like, well, shit, now I got to use mine. Right. Get their ass out the boat. But I think that's like a relationship, right? Like use your resources to like help your partner. But okay, so like, that's another thing. Like, do you wait for them to catch up or do you just accept like, that's just who they are and like probably like where they're going to be though. And like, I guess like you have to make a decision on whether or not like you're okay with that, with that person. Cause I hear all the time, like, I'm not you. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think of things like the same. And I'm just like, and I don't ever want to like think that I'm like better than somebody or I don't want to think that I don't want to be that person, but do we just kind of have to be really realistic and accept that not everybody is driven by the same things that you're driven by. Not everybody is going to see the, you know, even a partner. So do you think that there's a place in a relationship to be okay with that and still like have it work? Or do you feel like it just doesn't work?
Yeah, in my history, I feel like it just didn't work, even though as much as I wanted it to or tried or whatever. But now, like, you know, you can even apply this to friendships or whatever, like any relationships, right? It's like, okay, well, as long as you're willing to accept what I have to say about the situation, not necessarily, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you, hey, my way is the better way, so you should do it my way. But as long as you're willing to accept me saying it, and then you can take what you want from it, and maybe it'll help you on your journey. And if you're willing to do that, then you can, you know, you can come with me. Come on, you can go on my side of the river or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, but do you think the person like would become resentful because they feel like you aren't accepting them for this who they are and like you want them to change and like you want them to be?
Well, I guess I just want them to grow, right? Like I don't want them to change the core of who they are.
But can you want somebody to grow? Like, can you tell them like, do you think that like, is that insulting? Like saying like, I don't think you're there. Like you're not like where I am, even like if it is like the truth. Right. Like how do you tell somebody that without like even like without hurting them and like making them feel like less than or like making you feel like you're too good to be in a situation with them?
Yeah, and it's tough. It's funny because like a lot of books I've read on like relationships and stuff, they say like when you get to that point, and this is like men talking, right? Like I read a lot of guy authors. But they're like, if you get to that point where she's just not compatible with the life you want to have, you got to let her go. And like some guys will put it, I don't care how much you love her. I don't care how much you guys' time are put in. If you are on a higher trajectory, you got to walk away. And then maybe she'll eventually end up on your trajectory and then you can reconnect, right? But you have to follow your trajectory. You have to follow your whatever, you know, your life.
Because I think naturally, like when that happens, like we kind of like stay back,
Right.
Like help them
Exactly.
get along, and then like it kind of, I want to think that there's a way that you can still help your partner come here while you still move forward.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know what that looks like or how to do that.
Right.
What would you say, Roman? I'm wondering, like, because there's different like power dynamics too, like in a relationship, like depending on the person, like if somebody's like like the provider and the breadwinner or something like that, or if someone is like more outgoing,
Right.
or if someone is more introverted. Like I think introverts and extroverts can like have a great relationship. I think it's just like that, the motivation, the will, the drive that I am looking for. And I don't like I'm always in a relationship where I feel like I'm trying to push the other one to be better. But then I'm like, what am I doing wrong to like attract these people that are still like figuring out such large portions of their life when I'm always trying to move forward. So like maybe it's not like a them thing, like maybe it's like a me thing. Like why do I
Do you think that's like where the power couple comes in, right? Like, because now I'm thinking about it, and I'll get heat for this, but I don't think I've ever had a partner that had the exact same motivations and ambitions that I have, right? And so when you have a partner like that, is that when a power couple happens? Is that like why there's only so many power couples in the world?
Yeah, I'll share that. I would say like,
if you had somebody that had like your same motivations, right? Your kind of same aspirations in life, and the other boxes were checked too, right? Like attraction, I don't know, whatever the boxes are for that individual person. Like, is that when a power couple happens? Is that like two atoms fucking meeting to blow up and become a nuclear type thing?
I feel like a power couple comes like when you legitly support your partner in whatever their endeavor is, even if it's not what you want to do, like, and on the level that you want to do it, right? But I feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z, for instance, that's a crazy power couple, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that either one of them could be happy with anybody else other than Jay-Z and Beyonce with Jay-Z, because they understand the work that needs to be put in to be successful.
They're kind of the same people.
They feed off of each other that way. Yeah. So Beyonce, I don't feel like is going to be mad at Jay-Z if he has to go out on tour.
Right.
He's obviously had toured and shit like that.
He will be.
But like, I don't, in the massive success that a Beyonce has, I don't think a lot of men have the ego and the and the self-awareness to be with a woman that powerful, that beautiful, that smart, that talented, without feeling like emasculated somehow. So Jay-Z, he's got his own fortune. Like he's a billionaire in his own right? So he, like, nothing Beyonce is doing was taking away from him.
Yeah, it's just adding to
him.
Them. Adding to them.
And her success like makes them more successful as a couple. Like, so I don't think, like, when you have people like that, there's no way that you can just have like she couldn't be married to a librarian.
Librarian or regular
even if it's like a celebrity, CPA or something like that. Like, no, like that person has to understand that Beyonce is just like a different breed of person. Right.
That's kind of like what I mean. Like, they're both so similar that's why they are a power couple. That's why they work so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like they obviously they both have their own shit, like their own. Jay-Z's a legend, right? Beyonce is the queen, and they both are the same people. Like they're both like they're on the same trajectory. That's a power couple. So they just happen to be attracted to each other too.
Yeah.
They're attracted to each other, and they have the same ambitions, same goals. Like they want the same shit out of life, and they made it happen. Like boom, power couple. Because not like a lot of celebrity couples end up good. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. Look at because Kanye and Kim Kardashian. I think Kanye kind of wanted, he thought, okay, this could be my Beyonce, right? Because she has her own shit. She has her own businesses. I got my businesses. I'm, a music legend too or whatever. But it just didn't work, right? because even though they have things, they're not the same person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like I think what really hindered them is the fact that like Kanye, he's off on another kick, like his whole spirituality. Spirituality, right? He is not. That's the thing. Yeah, but
for any of that.
so, on paper, it looks like it should work, right? Like they could have been on paper. You look at, okay, well, yeah, they're similar to Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they're not because something just didn't work, right? There's just a gear in there that wasn't the same or whatever. So it's like rare to have that like
power works. Like I
just think he had her hostage.
like, yeah, like I feel like she held him hostage.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that there was ever like a genuine like love and attraction there. I think it was because like who they
As
are.
we all,
like
yeah.
this makes
We're
sense.
Kim and Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody else is gonna be able to like understand the life that I live. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for like another billionaire. Like, you know.
That's true. Because if you think about Beyonce and Jay-Z, they kind of were dating when Beyonce was still in Destiny's Child. It was before she made her big leap to being solo. And he kind of helped her with that. Jay-Z did. So, yeah.
And he was still like on his way up.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't
Right.
the Jay-Z that we know
Yeah.
now. But a lady or a girl on this podcast, it's called the Black Cultivation, Black Thumb. It's about Black women in like gardening, right? And like agriculture. Anyway, so she was saying that she's not dating right now because she hasn't found someone who understands her entrepreneurial endeavors right now.
Right.
She's like, I can't. And she's like, I even Googled, how do you date when being an entrepreneur? And she's like, a lot of it led me back to you have to date somebody who understands the life that you're going to actually. There's going to be a lot of late nights. There's going to be a lot of meetings. You might be gone a lot. You might not get the attention that you need. So I also it's like you need to find someone who's okay with like if you need a lot of attention and like that's your personality type, it's not going to work with a person that is gone and busy. Like you know what I mean? Like that's just not going to work. So you have to find someone who has their own stuff going or who's just like secure and understands that this is her life. This is what she's chosen. I support her. But I feel like ego's like get in the way, right? And so, yeah, I don't think that two people that are too far off in, you know, their paths can like really make it work unless they actually are really making a concerted effort and trying. Like, because like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's like my job to like build you, like if you're not trying to build yourself. Yeah. But also it's just like, are we too quick to like just leave somebody behind because they're not where I am right now? So like you're not valuable to me. Like maybe they're a good person, maybe they still make me laugh. Like maybe, you know, they check off other boxes, but yeah, their ambitions and their drive just isn't the same. So yeah, I don't know a good answer to, I mean, I have an answer, but I don't have a good solution. Yeah. I guess like I'm trying to like figure that out because for me, I always feel like I have to be like the one that's like doing the most, but I would also like to be the one who is like learning from someone else and having someone else do the most and like not to be like the strong, like in that one episode, the alpha person all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of exhausting and it's kind of like it stops you from, you know, being your whole self because like you have to dedicate so much time to being this other person.
Yeah. And that's like so interesting too. Because I see a lot of guys that are, I wouldn't call them beta, but I have like friends who are guys that are like not as alpha, right? And they end up with women who are driven and motivated and stuff like that. Like one in particular, I'm thinking about a particular friend. He ended up, so he was in a relationship with a woman who they were just toxic for one another, right? Because she was super like she was super alpha. She was almost like a man. And he's kind of like a poetic, soft kind of guy, like really cool, really great person. And he's not like a bum by any means either. Like he does, you know, he's a good, genuine guy, good guy, right? Well, he got out of that relationship and now the relationship that he's in is with a woman who she's very like ambitious, and he learns from her. He tells me stuff like that all the time. Like, I like that I'm with her because I learn from her. You know, she's on a whole nother level than me and stuff like that. And guys, when they're in that situation, I feel like they humble themselves to tell people like, she's amazing. You know, she's amazing. I learn new things from her every day and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I was like, I don't think I could ever find somebody like that I could learn from on a daily basis. I'll get heat from that, but I'm not learning from them, right? I'm usually the instructor, or I'm the person that's leaned on in the relationship, in all my relationships I've ever had, right? It's like, I have to be the one to find out what's going on. I have to figure out the solution to the problem. I have to carry us out of the mud or whatever, right? So I just can't even fathom finding somebody who I'm like, damn, I'm learning from her. She's bringing me to whole new heights of this and that. Like, I've been the person to get to the plateau and be like, hey, it's clear up here. I'm going to pull you up. Come on, you know?
But you also have to be careful too, because like, I feel like people show their level of learning different. So like, they might, and that sucks too, like, right? Like, maybe like they're not applying it in the relationship, but like they're learning.
Yeah.
But like, when you have someone like with a more dominant personality, it's just like, I don't know how to jump in there and do that, because like this person is so dominant, and I don't know how to like maybe assert myself. And maybe in what I've learned about myself, which was like kind of like hard to reckon with and just like accept, is like, I didn't let, you know, my last partner be in control that way.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give her, like, she probably could have like done more and been more assertive and maybe more, you know, taking the load off of me. Yeah. I just didn't let her, because like I felt like I needed to be in control. So I feel like I just feel like we want to be careful when we say like, you know, we're saying like, I'm the one that's doing this, I'm the one that's doing that. Well, are we giving the other person the opportunity to like actually do it?
Yeah.
Or do we automatically just feel like that's our role, that's our lot, and we like, are we? I'm a control freak to an extent, right?
Yeah.
I've been told that, I've noticed that, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be like that. Like, you know what I mean? So like, in this new relationship, I'm trying to be a little bit less like that. I'm like, well, you pick. Like, I could definitely do all this stuff, but like, I give them the opportunity to be in that role too. And like, I don't take that on solely, because you also get resentful when you start doing
right.
that. And that's where I was. So like, over this last however long, I learned a lot about myself. And I'm like, oh yeah, I might have been kind of a bitch, or I might have been a little like too assertive, and I didn't let the other person make the decisions that maybe we should have like made together. I just made them, right. You know? So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, still don't know a good answer.
Yeah, I think it sparked a good conversation though.
Yeah.
And it was just seriously just a question that just came out of nowhere when I was hearing the talk.
So weird.
And I was like, wow, this makes me curious.
Very freaky. I'll tell you why after the camera stop rolling.
Well, I think that was good.
Yeah.
Good episode. Good way to end it. What did we say was going to call this one? I liked the title of it when we started. Now I forgot. But we'll figure it out. We'll replay it.
We'll figure it out.
However this ends up getting chopped up and put together, we thank you for sitting down and listening to another one of our conversations. Feel free to light up the comment section with how you guys feel about anything we've talked about, or even shoot us a question for the next episode. I check the comments all the time, so I'm looking out for you guys. Let us know what you think, how you feel. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.